The debate around LeBron James has never been louder. And this time, the criticism is coming from someone who knows the game inside and out. Former NBA sharpshooter turned analyst J.J. Redick has sparked a massive debate across the basketball world after questioning one of LeBron's most talked about achievements. And according to Redick, the narrative around one of LeBron's records might not be what fans think. NBA fans are stunned. Analysts are arguing. And the internet is exploding. Let's break down exactly what happened. For more than 2 decades, LeBron James has dominated the National Basketball Association. From championships to MVPs, clutch performances to historic milestones, LeBron has built a resume that few players in basketball history can even dream of matching. But with greatness always comes scrutiny. And in today's era of advanced stats, media debates, and viral clips, every achievement is analyzed from every possible angle. That's where J.J. Redick stepped in. During a recent basketball discussion, Redick took a deep dive into one of LeBron's most celebrated statistical milestones, a record that many fans point to when arguing for his place in the GOAT conversation. But Redick suggested something surprising. He argued that the record itself may be technically correct, but the context around it has been misunderstood by fans. And that's where the controversy began. Redick explained that modern NBA records can sometimes be misleading when they are compared across different eras. The game has changed dramatically over the years. More games, more possessions, more three-point shots, and a much faster pace of play. Because of this, raw statistical totals can sometimes create narratives that ignore the bigger picture. According to Redick, when people look at LeBron's numbers without considering these factors, they may be misunderstanding what those records actually represent. That doesn't mean LeBron's greatness is fake, but it does mean the conversation around the record might be exaggerated. And that statement alone was enough to send NBA fans into a frenzy. Supporters of LeBron immediately pushed back. Many argued that durability and longevity are part of greatness. Playing an elite level for 20 years isn't easy. In fact, it's almost impossible. And LeBron hasn't just lasted in the league, he's dominated it. From his early days as a teenager to his leadership with the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron has consistently produced at a superstar level. That level of consistency is exactly why so many fans believe his records are legitimate and historic. But Redick's point wasn't necessarily about denying LeBron's greatness. Instead, he was questioning how fans interpret the numbers. Redick emphasized that statistics alone don't tell the full story of basketball. Context matters. For example, comparing scoring numbers between different eras can be tricky. Players in earlier generations often played in slower-paced systems. Three-point shooting wasn't nearly as common, and offensive strategies were very different. Meanwhile, today's NBA encourages spacing, pace, and scoring. That environment naturally produces higher numbers. So when fans look at career totals or statistical milestones, Redick argues they should also look deeper. Because the game itself has evolved. This is where the phrase fake record began circulating online. But it's important to understand something. Redick never literally said LeBron's achievement was fake. Instead, he challenged the way the media and fans frame certain records. In other words, the record exists, but the story behind it might be oversimplified. Unfortunately, social media doesn't always care about nuance. Within hours, clips of Redick's comments spread across basketball Twitter, YouTube, and sports talk shows. Headlines exploded. Redick exposes LeBron. Fake record debate shocks NBA fans. GOAT conversation heats up again. And just like that, another chapter in basketball's biggest argument was underway. The GOAT debate has always been one of the most passionate discussions in sports. Fans constantly compare LeBron James to legends like Michael Jordan. Some prioritize championships. Others value longevity. Some focus on peak dominance. Others look at total career production. And depending on what metrics people choose, the answer can change. That's exactly why Redick's comments hit such a nerve. Because questioning a record connected to LeBron immediately affects how fans view his place in history. Some analysts actually agreed with Redick's perspective. They pointed out that modern players benefit from sports science, longer careers, and offensive systems designed to maximize scoring opportunities. That doesn't invalidate their achievements, but it does change how those achievements should be interpreted. Others argued that LeBron's greatness goes far beyond statistics. His basketball IQ, his ability to adapt to different teammates and systems, his leadership, his ability to remain elite well into his late 30s. Those qualities can't simply be reduced in numbers on a stat sheet. Meanwhile, fans across the basketball world began choosing sides. Some praised Redick for bringing a deeper analytical perspective to the conversation. Others accused him of disrespecting one of the greatest players the game has ever seen. But interestingly, Redick himself has often spoken positively about LeBron in the past. He has praised LeBron's passing ability, his court vision, and his ability to control the tempo of a game. So this wasn't necessarily an attack. It was more of a challenge to how basketball conversations are framed. And this raises a bigger question. How should we evaluate greatness in sports? Is it championships? Is it statistics? Is it longevity? Or is it the overall impact a player has on the game? LeBron's career has touched every one of those categories. He has dominated multiple eras of basketball, played with multiple generations of stars, and remained a central figure in the NBA for more than 20 years. That level of influence is extremely rare. But to the end of the day, Redick's comments may have done something valuable. They forced fans to think deeper about the numbers they celebrate. Records are important, but understanding the context behind those records is just as important. Because basketball is more than just stats. It's strategy, it's evolution, and it's storytelling. One thing is certain. As long as LeBron James continues playing, the debates will never stop. Every game adds another statistic, another milestone, another moment for fans to analyze. And voices like JJ Redick will continue challenging how we interpret those moments. Not to tear down greatness, but to understand it more clearly. So the real question isn't whether LeBron's record is fake. The real question is this: how should greatness truly be measured? And that might be the debate that never ends. But the story didn't stop there. After JJ Redick made those comments, the reaction across the basketball world was immediate. Fans, analysts, and former players began dissecting every word he said. Some people believed Redick was simply being honest about how statistics can sometimes be misunderstood in modern basketball. Others felt he was indirectly taking a shot at LeBron James and trying to diminish one of the biggest milestones of his career. And that's where the controversy really started to grow. Because when you're talking about a player like LeBron, every single statement becomes headline news. For years, LeBron has been at the center of the biggest conversations in the National Basketball Association. From the moment he entered the league as a teenager, expectations were enormous.